welcome to Cooking with Cori. I'm your host, Chef Cori Dern, and I'm also a proud media spokesperson for Foodland Ontario. And today I am showing you a recipe that is going to blow your mind. I have 3 words for you. Caramelized apple tiramisu. Yeah, you heard me. Caramelized apple tiramisu. Doesn't get any more yummy than that. In fact, I admit it, I'm a little drooly right now because it is so good. For this recipe, oh my, so simple, so delicious. We have gorgeous Ontario apples. When you go to Foodland Ontario for the recipe, it's going to say, as a recommend, to use Crispin apples. I had not been familiar with the Crispin, so I did a little bit of homework on that, and I found out that yellow delicious apples are just as delicious for this recipe. And I'm going to tell you, I used these babies, and it turned out really, really great. So this recipe can't be caramelized apple without the apple. So we have apples here. You're going to need 3 of them for this recipe. And then the tiramisu, mascarpone, unless I'm saying it wrong, mascarpone, I don't know. You can write in and tell me which way if you'd like, but I'm going to go for the rest of the show saying mascarpone. We have 1 cup of mascarpone cheese for this recipe as well. We have some vanilla. We have a little bit of lemon juice, and I'll tell you why we've got lemon juice in just a minute. We've got honey. And then we have our lovely aromatics for our mascarpone. Also whipping cream. I should add that we also have whipping cream. Brown sugar. We have nutmeg. We have cinnamon. I've got butter. I've got cornstarch. A little pinch of nutmeg, I should say. And it actually looks like a little pinch on the plate. It's quite cute. And then together, it forms together to make something absolutely delicious. And then we've got ginger snaps right here that are all crumpled up that are going to be absolutely great for the layering. So let me tell you a little bit about this recipe. This is one of those recipes that doesn't really take a long amount of active time. It's really about being very watchful when you're cooking. This is not a recipe that you want to walk away from the stove when you're doing. So it's always a really great idea to have everything that you need for this recipe laid out in front of you, and then you'll start your cook. You're going to want to start with a saute pan. I hand cut these apples, I should say. So what I did was I peeled them and then I sliced them, and you can see how they are absolutely gorgeous here. A lovely slice. I didn't go too thin. I wanted there to be just a little bit of body to the apple. So that when I cooked it and the moisture was released from it, it wouldn't be paper thin. It would still have a little bit of yumminess to it, but be very flexible. And to this, that's where I added the lemon juice. After I sliced my 3 apples, I tossed it in lemon juice, and then I just set it aside. And the lemon juice helps with brightness of flavor, but it also makes sure that your apple doesn't brown on you. Not that this apple is really known for browning, but it's a really great way to keep your apple from going brown, because the only browning you want is during the caramelization of it. So I have my apple slices right here. As I said, I've got my mascarpone, and what I would do is, or what I did is, I got my saute pan, and in my saute pan I poured a little bit of water and some brown sugar, and I moved it around with some butter and moved it around so that it would start to melt and bubble, and that only took about, I'm going to say, about a minute. And then I tossed in my apples. And what happens is when you add the apple to the already melted brown sugar, it's going to kind of thicken up a bit and get a little bit of hard, like a little hard, and I don't want you to freak out and go, oh no, it seized on me. It didn't. That's totally normal. You're going to continue to gently mix it, and the moisture, the liquid, the juice of the apple is going to be released into that beautiful brown sugar butter, you know, caramely yumminess. And then you're just going to delicately fold it for about 7 to 10 minutes, depending on your stove, not on a high heat. You want to kind of keep it medium to low. And you're going to gradually stir it until the apples soften. And when they soften, the liquidiness is going to return. And then what you're going to do is you're going to add your equal parts of cornstarch and honey and to it, and water, sorry, equal parts cornstarch, water, and honey to it to basically give it body. So what you're going to do is you're going to mix that in with your apples, and it's going to give it that kind of body that you're looking for. You know, it's just easier if I kind of show you. It's going to make it look like this. How, you know, I could just end this right here and just start showing you about how Yeah, this is so good. Look at this. This is what you want. Oh, it's dripping. I'm so sorry. I should look that up, but I won't. You want your apples to look just like this. They're soft, they're creamy, the cornstarch and the honey, and it just made it nice and thick. And then you're going to set it aside, and you're going to combine in your mixing bowl your mascarpone, your whipping cream, and you're going to set it on your mixer, and you're going to whip it up until it's got soft peaks. And then to that, you're going to add your beautiful spice mixture. And into the mascarpone it goes, mix, 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 and then this is what you're going to end up with, this absolutely beautiful, creamy deliciousness. So I've got some lovely ginger crisps that I've broken up, the lovely ginger cookies, ginger snaps if you prefer. And I'm going to get my glass, and only because I'm a little high maintenance, I'm going to wipe up this because it's a little sticky. And now I'm going to start my layering. So this recipe, you can get up to, I'm going to say 6 of these. And you're going to go to foodlandontario.ca to check out the recipe. There we go. And I'm going to do it again into this glass. There we go. And you want it to be pretty. For this, I decided to use a rocks glass because I thought it looked really nice. And it's all about the layering, because you don't just, you know, when you smell something and it smells good and it whets your appetite, it's not the same as when you eat with your eyes. And this is definitely one of those recipes that you're eating with your eyes. So now I'm going to take some of my crumble and put that on top. And then I'm going to put some crumble over here as well. And then I'm going to add my gorgeous apples to it. And you're going to repeat this layering for the length of your glass or cocktail glass or whatever you wanted to do. If you want to do a cute one, you could do it in a shot glass. I suppose that's totally up to you. That would be kind of neat. And then we're going to put our tiramisu, or lovely mascarpone, on another layer. Just like that. And then I'm going to do my apple again. Just like that. And a little bit more of my ginger snap. And then dollop it with my last final layer of my mascarpone. Yum. And then a drizzle of sauce. You're going to love eating this recipe. Check out foodlandontario.ca, and we'll see you next time. Welcome to Cooking with Cori. I'm your host, Chef Cori Dern, and I'm also a proud media spokesperson for Foodland Ontario, where we all know good things grow. Today is no exception. We are making an absolutely wonderful, wonderful soup for you to enjoy. It is a Thai curry coconut sweet potato soup. Yes, you heard me, Thai coconut curry sweet potato soup, and it is absolutely delicious. Yes, I'm not going to talk about the time when I was in grade 7 and I did an entire report on Thailand. It is, in fact, pronounced Thai. The other fun fact about this recipe is the beautiful sweet potato that is the star of this soup. A lot of people think that a yam and a sweet potato are the same thing, but they are not. They're not at all the same thing. In fact, if you want to know, sweet potatoes are grown in Ontario. Yams are not. They're not grown anywhere in North America. In fact, you want to get your sweet potatoes here, and that's how you know you're going to start with an amazing, amazing soup, because it's something that's grown right here in Ontario. So we've got beautiful Ontario sweet potatoes in this soup. I've got an Ontario onion, which I've diced. You can see that I've done a small dice on the sweet potato and also a small dice on my Ontario onion, because the end result of this soup I'm going to be pureeing, and you can puree this in a blender or you can use an immersion blender. It's totally up to you. So what I've done is I've done it as small and fine as I can, because that's going to speed up the cooking process. So for this absolutely delicious recipe, I'm going to put my pot on high. I'm going to add some oil into my pan. or my pot. I love these one-pot meals. They're so handy. You're going to look for your oil to kind of shimmer a bit, because when it shimmers, then you know that it's ready to add. You don't want your oil smoking. If it is smoking, it's too hot, don't even start with it. You're going to instantly burn your onion, and you don't want to do that. We're actually just softening the onion for this recipe. So I'm going to put my onion into my pan. I heard just a little tiny tss. And the reason you want to hear a little tiny tss to what you're making is because you want to, you don't want the oil to be absorbed into the onion right away. You want to make sure that there is a little bit of heat going on, so that way you know it's going to cook it. Okay. So in this, I am now going to add my aromatics. So anytime you're cooking with a curry, or any time you're cooking with a variety of spices, it's a really great idea to introduce it into a hot pan first, because what's going to happen is it is going to release the flavors. The oil within the spices is going to release the flavor and make it a little bit more potent. So to this, I've got cumin, coriander, and turmeric. I've got some grated ginger. I've got some grated Ontario garlic, finely minced. I've got some chili flakes and some salt. And all of that is going to go into my pot with my onions. The recipe is a guideline. In this case, I happen to be a person who really, really, really loves ginger. And so because I really love the ginger, I was generous with the amount that I put in. I'm always encouraging you to go with your own flavor profile. You know what you like. And so because you know what you like, it's going to be to your palate, you know? And so when you invite me over for dinner, you know that I really like ginger, so you're going to boost up the ginger. Okay, already it's smelling fragrant, it's smelling absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. So now I'm going to add my diced sweet potato. If you're peeling your sweet potatoes, because I'm always saying when you get your recipe, and you're going to go to foodlandontario.ca for this recipe, when you're peeling your sweet potatoes, cover them up in a damp paper towel or submerge them in water, and then that way they won't go brown. And that's how I achieve that here. So now I'm going to add my lovely diced sweet potato to my pot. And I'm going to give that a nice little mix. Oh, it smells so good. And if you're just heating up your spices, don't add oil to the pan, especially if you're starting with whole pieces, because the natural oils will be released. Okay. To that, I'm going to add my vegetable stock. Now you can add vegetable stock or chicken stock, it's totally up to you, whatever makes you happy. And I'm also going to add some light coconut milk, 1 can in fact. And I'm just going to save a little bit at the end because I'm going to drizzle that on top. And so now I'm going to let this hang out, and it's going to take about, I'm going to say 10 to 15 minutes, depending on your stove type. You're going to lid it, because the fastest way to bring something up to the boil is to put a lid on it, and that way all of that heat is not escaping. But you can see already the colors are absolutely gorgeous in this pot. Fun little fact about coriander. Chef Cori, middle name Ann, last name Dern. Yes, coriander, you got it. I know, stop laughing. It's something I have to live with. So while this soup is getting nice and warm, let me tell you about some next steps. So once it's all done and finished, and I'm actually going to kind of move this a little bit out of the way, you are going to get your, like I said, your immersion blender. You're going to puree it, or you can put it in small batches into an upright blender or bullet, whatever makes you happy, and puree it so it's nice and creamy and smooth. And when it's all done, you're going to end up with this absolutely gorgeous soup. It is so creamy and light. The natural starch within it is going to allow it to just naturally thicken up. And then you're going to add your lime juice and give it a stir just before serving. What I like to do is I like to add this is just me personally, it's totally up to you, but I like to squeeze the lime on the end when I'm doing a garnish. And I also like to take a little bit of that pretty coconut milk that I reserved and just do like a little drizzle on it, just so that it kind of has that nice little color. There we go, that looks really pretty. I'm just going to put this here for a second. And I'm going to garnish it with some fresh cilantro. You could also use, if you wanted, chopped peanuts if you want to put it on top for that nice little crunchy Thai flavor. If you want to sprinkle a little bit of those red pepper flakes or a pinch of cayenne on top just to contrast that gorgeous orange color from the sweet potato, you can do that as well. It's totally up to you. Here we go, and I'm just going to put just a little sprinkle of the cilantro on top because it looks absolutely gorgeous. And then again, because the recipe is a guideline and you're able to do it any way that your palate likes it, you can either add more heat or take away heat. You don't want to use light coconut milk because you want that full fat, go ahead and use the full fat coconut milk. Just because it's a vegetarian recipe doesn't mean you have to make it vegetarian. If you want to use chicken stock as your base, you can absolutely do it. That's the great thing about Foodland Ontario recipes. They're incredibly versatile. And if you want to switch it up even more, go to their website, type in what you got in your fridge, and make it. Enjoy this. We will see you next time. Hi, welcome to Cooking with Cori. I'm your host, Chef Cori Dern, and I'm also a proud media spokesperson for Foodland Ontario, where good things grow. And today's recipe is no exception. We are making Chipotle beef cups. Everything in that sentence is awesome. For this recipe, we've got Ontario lean ground beef. We've got an Ontario onion, which I have diced. And what I did, just to save time so that I could show you how to assemble it, I took the time to ground the beef with the onion, made sure that it was cooked all the way through, as you can see right here. And then what I did was I drained off all of the oil so that there was no more oil left, and now added it back to my pan. So to this, I am now going to add one Ontario tomato, which is really great. It's already diced. What I did was I cut it into quarters and I took out all the seeds, and then I did a really nice dice on it. And so that's going to go into our lovely lean ground Ontario beef with the onion. And remember, do drain off the fat. That is very, very important for this recipe. And I'm going to add my spice mixture. Cumin and chili powder, right? Yum. I'm also going to add, and this is what I did. I got some chipotle peppers, which are jalapenos that are smoked, and I included the adobo sauce with it, and then I pureed it. And now it's up to you how much you want to add, because as we all know, a recipe is an excellent guideline. Oh, wow, the smell coming off of this is fantastic. So I like them spicy, so I'm going to add a really generous dollop of this beautiful chipotle, because you can't have chipotle beef cups without the chipotle sauce, right? That's key. And I'm going to give that a good mix together. You know, one of these days they're going to invent smell-o-vision. And when they do, you are going to run to your computer and you're going to log on to foodlandontario.ca and you're going to look up this recipe because, oh my goodness, it smells so absolutely delicious in this studio. So I'm right now just incorporating everything. If I had started, it would have taken me, and I'm going to say, about 3 to 5 minutes before I did the beef with the onions and then poured off the oil. And then now I'm just continuing to work everything through together so that everything is incorporated and absolutely delicious. Another way that I can bind this is to add a little bit of flour, which is what I'm going to do. And a little pinch of salt and pepper. Okay, maybe another little pinch of salt and pepper. There we go. I find it's really handy to have a little bowl of salt and pepper ready to go for me because I find I use it a lot in my cooking. And then it just saves me time. Okay, look at that. This is already looking so amazing. Now, to go with my beautiful Chipotle beef cups, I've got, you know, the absolutely fantastic garnishes that we know and love, like a beautiful aged Ontario cheddar, which has been shredded. And I also have some sour cream, and you can go with a light or a heavy sour cream. It's totally up to you. It matters not. Oh my gosh, this smells so good. And I've got some guacamole, because I'm a person who really loves the guac. And there we go. This looks fantastic. And it is done. So now I'm just going to put this into a bowl right here. There we go. Oh, doesn't that look lovely? I bet you wish you were here right now. I know that the folksy woksies in the studio cannot wait to eat this. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit more, and with that remaining chipotle that was on the spoon, I'm totally going to incorporate it into here. There we go, and it is beautiful. Okay, so now that I have this ready to go, I've grabbed a bowl. For this recipe, I grabbed scoops because I'm a very literal person, and I thought, wouldn't it be adorable to do a little tiny, teeny tiny little chipotle, you know, as a little appy for, you know, the holidays, or if you're entertaining friends. But for something a little bit more elegant, I've got a lovely bowl here. You can use scoops. You can use any kind of tortilla chip that you enjoy. And to this, I am going to add my yummy chipotle beef mixture. And it's really colorful. Oh, it just smells so good. You can see this. If I wanted to layer it, I suppose I could. But I think just for this case, I'm going to fill it into the glass like this. So yummy. And then I am going to put some of this beautiful sharp Ontario cheddar cheese. And I like that it's hot because it's going to melt it just a little bit. And this is one of those recipes that is from your stovetop to your guests, and they're enjoying it. There we go, some lovely cheese. And I'm going to do a dollop of, actually I'm going to save the sour cream for the end. I'm going to do a nice dollop of guacamole. I like my guac kind of chunky. So I'm going to kind of plop that right there on top of the cheese just for color. There we go, a little bit of orange and green. And then I'm going to add my sour cream, a nice dollop right on top here. And then to that, I'm going to add some very pretty cilantro. And for those of you who don't love cilantro, you can add parsley. It's up to you. But I'm just going to say that the cilantro is definitely going to make it because it is quite gorgeous. There we go. And voila, we've got our absolutely beautiful cup. I'm actually going to put this right here because I kind of want to see what it would look like if I were to do one of those cute little cups and decorate it up and do it the exact same way with my little bit of cheese on top and then a little bit of avocado. And then you could just pop that in your mouth as a little cute little party snack. I love the versatility of Foodland Ontario recipes because they let you adapt as need be. And if you fancy a recipe but you don't think that those ingredients are available locally, then what you can do is check their website and go to their seasonal availability. And it'll tell you right there what's available, what's coming up, what's just ending. And then that way you can enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this show. We'll see you next time.